Previously on the ABERCORN universe, the Rokin Haunted Hotel.
Welcome to the Rokin Haunted Hotel.
That's literally what I just said. It has been 10 years since Cafe Chaos, 8 years since Cowcatton's Crime Caper, 5 years since Crystal Dynamite the movie, and 1 year since A Tale of Mind Control. Mr. Henderson is planning on taking over the world, with Mitchell Moneybags controlling the world's economy and Mr. Cute and the Red Lotus ruling over the world's nations as warlords. And the atomic mind control program is the key to making this all come true. He already has Professor Schmefesser's mind-altering zinger powder, but he still needs control of Dr. Scarlet's hypnotic sensors. And that is where the story begins. In New York! Dr. Scarlet is living it up in the Big Apple. Suites at the Plaza Hotel, trips to Broadway. She's practically living in the lap of luxury. Until Scarlet gets a phone call from Mr. Henderson, who knows that she is the only one who knows how to make the sensors after she stole all the data at the end of A Tale of Mind Control.
I deleted every single file on this computer thing. You will never find your files again because I've only got the copyright here.
Henderson invites her to his secret base in the Highlands, as he needs her technology for his grand plan. Speaking of which, the murder of CT Frequency has become a true crime sensation, and Highland Hotel manager Lewis Cartwright decides to cash in, transforming his ancestral family inn into the glorified tourist trap known as the
Rokin Haunted Hotel.
Meanwhile, after losing his cafe and seeing it get turned into a multi-story car park, Clive falls into his deepest slump yet.
I'm broken. She broke me into a million pieces.
Yeah, much deeper than that. But to cheer him up, his older brother Jive has booked the whole family a long weekend at the
Rokin Haunted Hotel.
Stop it! But as Abby and Evangeline had already booked themselves a spa break, Clive decided to give the 2 extra tickets to his 2 most loyal customers, George and his granddaughter Mila. When they arrive at the Highlands, we find out that Jive was a massive fan of CT Frequency.
CT was an absolute legend. We're honoring him if it's the last thing we do.
They check in and meet the staff. He may have updated his wardrobe, but manager Lewis is still his same old angry self.
We're in the right mind to dare to touch the most famous guy in this hotel.
He's joined by the handyman Marcus, a sober version of Dominic. Daisy the waitress has left unceremoniously. And now there's the receptionist, Steve, who looks kind of familiar. Down in the High Court, evil cousins Teddy Grizzly and Sebastian Blanc stand trial for trying to use the mind control for their own personal gains. But in their defense, Teddy was being used by Moneybags and Blanc was working for Mr. Cute. Now, ironically, they are both being used by Mr. Henderson, but they're guilty by association and they're going to jail.
Officers, take him away to Kelvin.
So, brief side note about HMP Kelvin, as seen in Tales from Kelvin Prison. The prison's governor, aka the warden, is a bloated, drunk old man. The head guard, Officer Arnold Bolton, is an angry ex-military guy. Penelope the therapist is the only sane person in the building. And there's a whole rogues gallery worth of wacky prisoners, including the man, the myth, the legend, Twilight Tyson! He'll be important later. Back at the hotel, we meet one last member of staff, and it's CT's sister herself.
Half-sister, actually.
It's 9! So it turns out Dominic becoming the lead singer of Crystal Dynamite was a disaster, and the band broke up shortly thereafter. But Nine still desperately wants the band to get back together, and she is also desperate to get out of the place where her half-brother was killed. Clive is also desperate to get out of here.
You see this bin over here? This is my life in a nutshell. I should be in the bin, not the rubbish.
Jive, on the other hand, is having the time of his life.
Oh, you dazers, I'm loving this.
Back at HMP Kelvin, criminal mastermind Haggis McGonagall has been pretending to be the prison's equivalent of a friendly neighbor.
Oh, yes, indeed.
But in reality, he has been plotting his escape to retrieve the diamonds that he was talking about in Cowcatton's crime caper.
In a few years' time, I'll be able to get back and retrieve those diamonds and I'll be back home.
Now, these aren't the diamonds his children attempted to steal in Cowcatton's crime caper, but rather the diamonds that he stole back in the days of his criminal empire. With the help of Officer McBride, McGonagall is able to disguise himself as a guard, outrun Officer Bolton, and have a little victory dance around the streets of Glasgow. He even has time for one last heart-to-heart with his wife, who's dropped in from Spain.
Get me those diamonds. I'll meet you there.
And now, after years of scheming, Haggis McGonagall is off to retrieve his diamonds in the Highlands. End of part 1. Intermission.
Hello.
Leo!
End of intermission. Part 2. Back at the
Russian hunting.
Lewis gives Marcus the auspicious honor of playing CT's ghost on the Ghost Walk.
It's itchy. Just stay still, you boat. Stay still. Ew, no.
Meanwhile, Mr. Henderson introduces Moneybags to Professor Schmofessor, and Schmofessor introduces us to his little friend.
I'd like you to meet mine other. His name is Currywurst.
Anyways, Mr. Henderson tells Moneybags to stay at the hotel in disguise, and we find out that the powerful man from Wall Street who sounds like Mickey Mouse is actually a pretty normal sounding guy called Mr. Green. Wait, not that one! Meanwhile, we find out Twilight has been released from prison, and Lewis is his dad? What? We also meet Lewis's dad, Mr. Cartwright Sr., who immediately destroys his hip and is nothing more than a gag for the blooper reel. Henderson has one last meeting with Mr. Cute, and we are about to see why he is not a man of his word.
It's okay. It's okay. Don't scream. Don't scream.
Twilight kidnaps the Supreme Commander of the Red Lotus, and he reveals that he has been spying on Henderson and all his guests. And now he wants answers. But Mr. Cute is loyal to the bitter end, and he refuses to tell Twilight anything.
I'll never talk.
But it will cost him his ear.
Okay. Fine.
End of part 2. Part 3 later that evening. McGonagall checks into the hotel in a silly disguise, as it turns out the diamonds are buried in the hotel grounds.
Sucker.
But look who's also here. It's Chief Inspector Charles Corter. But he's retired now, so technically he's no longer an inspector. He's here because he mysteriously received a voucher for the hotel's deluxe package, but he has no idea why. Dr. Scarlet finally arrives, but she mistakes Corter for Henderson.
As a retired police officer and private detective, I've known a lot of people in my time. A lot of cases, a lot of murder.
Yeah, he may be posh, but he's way too jolly to be Henderson. Meanwhile, Twilight shows the real Henderson Mr. Cute, and he demands to know the truth. But as Mr. Cute has effectively served his purpose, Henderson decides to stab him in the back.
I don't know who you are, boy.
Of course you do. I'm Mr. Q.
Mr. Who?
And so, Twilight kills him. Yeah, something tells me Moneybags isn't safe. Henderson finally meets Dr. Scarlet and is ready to bring her into his gang and gain control of the hypnotic sensors. But Lewis thinks they're having a date.
Anderson, I think I see this as a good problem. I think you and her, is this a date?
9 is finally ready to begin the ghost tour with Clive and Jive. Marcus is having a little too much fun being the ghost of CT, and Clive has just had enough.
That does it. I'm out. I'm heading back home. First thing I'm gonna do is lay out my TripAdvisor review.
Later, Steve decides to bestow a secret onto Quarter. He is actually John Blanc, the son of Sebastian Blanc and an eyewitness to the original mind control plot. And he tells the inspector everything about Henderson, about how he now possesses the Zinger powder and the sensors, and his grand plan to take over the world. But as he's retired, Quarter no longer has the power to arrest Henderson. But he does know someone who can.
But I know someone who I think he will know what to do.
End of part 3. Part 4 sometime later. McGonagall retrieves his diamonds, and with that, he has effectively won. But more on him later. Using Mr. Cute's phone thingy, Mr. Henderson becomes the new Supreme Commander of the Red Lotus. And he's now set his sights on becoming the president of the Mickey Coin Corporation. Yeah, Moneybags is definitely next on the hit list. He also shows Lewis the body of Mr. Cute, and it doesn't take him long to realize that Twilight was the one who killed him.
Twilight? What do you think?
But while on a walk, Clive accidentally stumbles upon the secret base, and Professor Schmafessor is more than willing to defend it with his life.
Yeah!
And in an instant, Clive Horowitz, the very first character we saw in this story, is dead. But pride cometh before the fall, and Mr. Henderson is about to receive a rude awakening.
And here come the cavalry.
The MI6 agent who arrested the cousins is back, but Mr. Henderson still thinks he could escape the authorities by using a venomous snake on himself.
If it were to get into one's bloodstream, it would render you dead.
Unfortunately for him, his poisonous adder was swapped out with a common garden snake, and with that, Mr. Henderson is arrested. Quarter bumps into Schmofessor and Scarlet, but they're just able to fool him. But now Henderson's gone, it becomes clear that the two mad scientists don't have any real evil plans. And so they decide to run off to Bavaria and possibly fall in love. I don't know. Back at HMP Kelvin, Henderson awaits trial, but they're probably gonna keep him locked up there. He plays mind games with Officer Bolton, which causes him to go utterly berserk.
Alright, that's it! Come here!
But the warden is undeterred by Henderson and forces him to take therapy with Penelope. But Henderson warns of his return.
I will have power, and it is not the end. It is a new beginning.
Whew, we are definitely never seeing him again, right? Right? John and Mr. Green/Moneybags are both waiting for their bus back home, and it seems that Green is actually going to leave his Moneybags persona behind. Nine and Jive have a heart-to-heart, bonding over the fact that they both lost siblings at the hotel. But on a more positive note, Nine has finally convinced Fawn and Georgie to get the band back together, and Jive finally fulfills his dream of becoming the new lead singer of Crystal Dynamite.
Thank you very much.
I'm more concerned at the fact that Clive never actually said goodbye to his wife. Like, that is really sad. Corter has been hanging out with his new best friend, Dr. Blackwood, who is actually McGonagall in disguise. You idiot! That is your arch nemesis sitting right in front of you. He is just wearing glasses. McGonagall then goes off with the diamonds, and after a phone call from the warden, Corter finally realizes that he has been played and vows to return McGonagall to prison.
McGonagall, you'll get back here!
But Mr. Henderson had one last parting gift. A gas explosion, which destroys all the sensors and zinger powder in the base, burns down the hotel, and probably kills Mr. Cartwright Sr., assuming he didn't die earlier. Oh my god. With his job literally going up in flames, Marcus agrees to drive Mila and Grandpa George back home to Glasgow. Wait a minute. Is that the ghost of CT? Wait, as in the real CT frequency? Huh. After 5 films, 1 spin-off, and countless Fridays of fun, that is where the ABERCORN universe comes to an
Nothing lasts forever. Even the longest, the most glittering rain must come to an end someday. Let the game begin in